Welcome back, Everyday Business Leaders. I'm Melanie Ake, your host for today's show, coming to you from JP the Geek Studio right here in Greenwood, Indiana. I am thrilled to have you with us today. We have Rebecca Bormann in the studio. Man, we have never met in person, so this is going to be a great conversation. So stay tuned, but you want to get your journals out because she's going to teach us all about sales strategy. So for those who are in business, you don't want to miss this. So join me as we connect and celebrate her as a remarkable business leader right from our very own community. And we're going to be redefining the way we think and grow. Remember, subscribe to our channel and turn those notifications on so you never miss an episode. Are you ready to meet Rebecca? Here we go.
Hello, thank you so much for having me.
Oh, I look on LinkedIn, I look on Facebook, and there you are, like creating spaces to include people and to love people and to do so many things to like dominate our community. So thanks for everything you do.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, this time is to celebrate you, to like tell people what's happening. And I want to understand really from today is what motivates you to serve like you do so well.
Yeah. I talk about our why and being able to identify that all the time. I know we both share a love for Simon Sinek and his Golden Circle theory. So it's something that I've thought about for a long time. And my why really is about being a part of and helping create communities that lift while they climb. And my mom is really, who taught me that, who inspired me to be that. I lost her when I was a young girl at 12 years old. But one of the things that I remember is that she was really involved in the Girl Scouts. She was my Girl Scout troop leader. She was Girl Scout troop leader for my sisters. And even when I got a little bit older and got more interested in sports, she was still super involved in in that community. We lived up in Fort Wayne at the time and being a part of the council. And she really wanted to teach women and girls that we could be and do anything that we could dream up, and that it took a community to do that. So for me, that's getting to carry on her legacy.
What a great story. I did not know that about you. But that makes total sense of why you do what you do.
Yeah.
And how passionate you are.
Yeah.
Because it's in your DNA.
It really is. And it's, the pastor at that church I go to says, there's so many amazing causes out there, right? Equity and inclusion and homelessness and hunger and mental health. And he says that God breaks each of our hearts like in a special way for those causes. I mean, they're all important, but he breaks each of our heart in a different way. And that's where where he's calling us to serve. So mine is really in that space of equity and inclusion, particularly for women and minorities, to make sure that we all have this opportunity to grow and thrive together.
That's awesome. Well, I see you. And if you guys aren't following her right now, go to Rebecca Bormann and follow her on all social media, because it's crazy. The things that we were doing to try to elevate people in sales, right? So you had a career in corporate.
I did.
And I want you to talk about this because it really leads to the other things that you're doing.
That's true.
From a paid standpoint, right?
Yeah.
You do a ton of volunteer stuff. You also you have programs to help people that are trying to navigate that conversation, the communication, kind of the leadership, like how do you become invested in your career?
Yeah.
And so getting mentored by your mother and then saying like, okay, I have to go take a job. What were the first things that you tried to do for like, okay, I'm going to go get paid in exchange for my time?
Yeah. Well, so my mother was the first woman to graduate college in her family, and she was a pharmacist. So way back when, I actually thought I was going to be a pharmacist. My father's a pharmacist too. I have a brother that's a pharmacist and a sister that's a pharmacy operation manager.
Well, of course, right?
Right. So it was like the family business or something to work at Walgreens or the hospital. But
you could really be a drug dealer.
Yeah, literally. You should hear the old guys in my family talk. That's literally what they say. They'll be like, hey, how's the drug game going? And people look around, kind of funny, and the rest of us are snickering, especially when it's two old guys, like my dad and Papa.
Yeah.
But So I love science. I've always been fascinated with the STEM field. Even, when I was growing up, it wasn't called STEM. But so I actually went to college to be a pharmacist, and I worked while I was going to school as I had a number of jobs, but I worked as a pharmacy technician. I actually got into sales a little bit. I had a job at Cutco selling those wonderful knives.
Gosh, yes.
And I also worked at Ellis Ayers back in the day too.
Yeah.
But what I found out is that I really loved the Cutco, going out and meeting people. I loved Ayers, talking to the people that came into the store. And, a lot of times they wanted help with, finding something or getting some ideas. And in the pharmacy world, I liked the science. I liked the school of it, but the day-to-day job seemed very routine to me. You get to talk to a lot of people there too, but I learned that wasn't my passion or my calling. So I actually dropped out of college. And I said, I have no idea what I'm going to do, but I'm going to go figure it out before I continue spending money on a college degree. So I applied to, I'm not kidding you, probably 50 jobs. I was probably 21 years old. And I ended up getting a role at Verizon Telecommunications in their business-to-business call center, where we did tech support, billing, and sales. So I found out that I really had an aptitude for technology. It was fascinating to me because it was always changing. There was always something new. I was helping these small business owners across the United States with solutions. Back in the day, it was DSL and high-speed internet and Centrix lines, things that if you're under 40, you probably don't even know what those are. But I thought, I could do this. I could really do this. I liked the problem solving of figuring out okay, the business was trying to do this. How could the technology enable that? And that's kind of all she wrote.
Wow.
From there, I spent 13 years at Verizon working in various divisions and enterprise, working with big corporate accounts, setting up global infrastructure, voice over IP and data storage solutions and telephony systems. I did a few years at Verizon Wireless, leading B2B teams in mobility and IoT solutions. And then from there, I moved to work for an IT managed service provider that sold to mid-enterprise, enterprise, and government sector. I led sales and marketing for the organization for almost 7 years. And really, it was, outsourced IT. So everything from data to end user support. And gosh, it was fun.
Yeah. That's a train, right? It's a train on technology.
Yeah. Every day was different. I got to travel tons all over the U.S., serving clients, learning about different businesses, everything from manufacturing to retail to higher education and professional services, all the things you could think of. And I did go back to school and I got my degree. Verizon helped me with that. So I got a degree in business management and communications. And I've always been learning all along the way. So lots of sales training, leadership training, working at a Fortune 20 company at Verizon for so long. They invest in their people a lot. So I was blessed to go through.
You were blessed, right?
So much training.
A lot of companies just say, oh, we care about that, but they don't show you that they care about it.
Oh my gosh, that's right. They sent us to training all across the country from amazing folks like Covey and Maxwell and all the big sales, trainings out there, Axiom and Spin and Sandler. And then I've always invested in myself too, in other leadership, development, just skills training, whatever was, interesting, right to me.
Yeah. So, but you just completed something pretty cool. Tell us what that was. I love seeing that.
The Kelly School?
Yes. How did that happen?
So I left corporate America about a year and a half ago to start my own consulting firm, RB Consulting. We help organizations accelerate their growth through creative sales and marketing solutions. And as part of that, investing in myself, investing in my business acumen, investing in my business, I joined Mid-States, which is a nonprofit that helps women minority-owned businesses scale. scale. I joined their A100 cohort. I got to be in the second cohort group ever.
Wow.
And as part of that program, they've partnered with the Kelly University School of Business and the Indy Chamber, the Black Chamber, and the Latina Chamber to provide executive certification programs to all the business owners in this class. So at the end of last September, I got to go to a program around business strategy. So I now have an executive certification in business strategy from the Kelly School of Business.
That's so cool.
Yes. And then this February, we had a class on financial strategy and management. So I just got to complete that course also.
Wow.
So it was incredible.
Mind-blowing, right?
Yeah, great learning, great networking, like being in there's about 50 students or so in each class. And we learned from each other. We learned from, the professors. We learned from, the different groups that were there, like Mid-States and Indy Chamber. And it was incredible.
Wow. So going into that, I mean, people would say, weren't you afraid? Like the experience is so fun, but thinking about like the pressure and being in this cohort and like, now what? Like the expectations are going to elevate, right?
Yeah, it's funny. That's not one of the things I'm ever afraid of. Yeah. It's really, like, I'm afraid of a lot of things, but like going into a new space to learn and connect with new people, like that's exciting for me, actually. I'm like, truth be told, I'm not a morning person. Like I would prefer not to start my day until like 9, 10 o'clock. And these classes where, had to be there at 8 in the morning, I was like jumping out of bed at 6 to get ready. And that is not my normal. I'm more of a night owl.
So that's probably one thing that you learned about yourself, right? You can be motivated. You just have to have the right motivation.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
That is so cool. Congratulations.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah, I was kind of, always watching as a fan, like, that is so awesome that you were able to kind of navigate through there.
Yeah.
But it's taking that intentional effort to say, I don't want this anymore. When you know what you don't want, things open up to you that you do want.
Absolutely.
Right? And I think your story has been so amazing because you just kind of watch it unfold. And then the opportunities to say, I can get involved. Now you have time to go to really invest in the time that you want to give back to.
Yes. Yeah. I was blessed in my corporate role to spend some time in nonprofit and community leadership. So Women in High Tech is an organization that's been close to my heart for a very long time. For those that don't know, it's an organization based here in Indiana that works to advance and level the landscape for women in the STEM fields. So it's the largest women's STEM membership group here in Indiana. They have close to 2,000 members. And I was blessed to be on that board for 7 years, including being the president for the organization. So we got to do some pretty cool things there, expanding the accessibility of the organization there was a lot of just tech folks, so we expanded across the other STEM fields. And there was a lot of women that looked like you and I there. So we made sure to go network with women, in the African American and Latina and like Asian communities to let them know that this was a safe place and that they were wanted and needed, in this community there too. So some of the big initiatives that we had.
Well, it's, just because you don't look like each other.
Hi, this is Melanie Ake. When you visit everydayleaders.com, you'll find valuable resources to become a better leader in your life. Women's leadership programs, including Top Floor Women, our monthly networking events, corporate workshops, and strategic business coaching services. Discover classes and products to develop yourself, including our morning leadership devotionals. Don't forget, order one of my inspirational books, sign up for classes, or pick up some gear in the Leader Store. Listen to the Everyday Business Leaders podcast, apply to be a guest in our studio, or even sponsor your own commercial advertisement. Contact us today at everydayleaders.com.
Right. Doesn't mean you can't work together.
That's right.
And I think, so Indiana, first of all, like for those of you that are watching from far away, we live in Indiana, the mid part of the country. And so when you think about like what's changing here in farmland, everything's changed. In the last 20 years, the whole landscape of our culture has changed. And it's amazing, the technology that's come in, the things that we're investing in, the economic development, the kinds of businesses that we're serving. It is incredible.
Massive changes.
Yeah.
And I mean, I just have to shout out to Indianapolis and our state for a lot of the investment. Indy is actually the 17th largest state in the United States.
It's growing.
We're a lot more than farm around here.
We are. And so people would drive through it and go, oh, it's the crossroads of America, right? And it's like, no, but you need to stop here.
Yeah. I mean, huge things. And we just hosted the NBA All-Star Conference. We've got Olympic swimming trials coming up here yet this year. Taylor Swift is going to be spending 3 days in Indianapolis. I think we've made our mark if Taylor Swift is going to be spending 3 days here in the fall, right?
The Super Bowl, you know, the JW Marriott was built for the Super Bowl, and now we have Caitlin Clark.
That's right. Yes, watch out.
Yeah, watch out. But that is so much the energy right behind our city and what we get to do. And even though we live 30 minutes away, it feels like we live in different countries. That's how much is happening.
Yeah, that's very true.
So talk to us about your work at Pass the Torch, because that's a foundation that has been close to my heart for many years.
Yes.
I love that community and to see what's growing there.
Yes, yeah. So I actually got introduced to Pass the Torch through Women in High Tech. So a former Women in High Tech president, Audrey Taylor, who's a woman CEO and founder of NetLogix, another successful, tech company here in the Indy area, was a part of both organizations. And so learning about Pass the Torch and their mission to provide mentorship to women in business, women college students, to create the support system, that was exciting to me. So I got involved 7 or 8 years ago after having a conversation with their executive director. And actually, Audrey and I worked to form a partnership between Women in High Tech and Pass the Torch for Women. So they could share resources, right? Share their, community. And Pass the Torch is really a platform to help women in all stages of their career, it doesn't matter if you're in STEM or sales or anything in between, to provide you community and support. So they have a wonderful mentoring platform that matches up more tenured professionals with college students and emerging leaders. They have their Project Grow, which is a curriculum for emerging leaders to go through to learn leadership skills and training. They do an incredible work. So I've been a mentor and a legacy leader for the organization for, like I said, 7 or 8 years. And this year I was invited to be on the advisory board. So I'm happy to serve in that capacity to see how we can continue to grow the organization and expand their impact.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into the work that you're doing, because I know, you've got a lot of big things coming up, and your website has pretty much everything, right? Comprehensive that you have. So, Joe, if you could pull the website up here, and I'd love for you to kind of lead us through, like, where do we need to go? We want to get connected to Rebecca Bormann. So it's RB Consulting?
Yep. RB Consulting is the business. So the website is Bormann, 2 N's at the end of that, consulting.com. And like I mentioned, my passion is really about helping organizations and people, lift while they climb. So part of that is helping figure out how to grow organizations. And when I talk to a lot of business owners, entrepreneurs, they've done incredible things. They're $1 million, $2 million, $5 million, $10 million in annual recurring revenue, and they're like, we don't know what to do to get to the next mark. And that's where I get to come in and help evaluate, what they have been doing. A lot of it is grassroots, which is always to be a component of our business development strategy. But what other tools, processes, and technologies can we use to help expand your message, your impact, and your revenue? And so I work with them to put together different business development plans, and then to oversee and execute those from like a fractional VP of marketing and sales, type of consulting service.
Right. So you've got it right here, Joe. So lead us kind of down. Where should people go?
Yes. So to learn about our services, you can click on the Our Services up at the top of the page, and that'll take you to kind of like the high level overview of our 4 core offerings. Just the Our Services, the very top one right there. Yes. That would be lovely. Thank you, Joe. And if you scroll down just a little bit, you'll kind of see there's 4 categories of offerings. You can keep going down a little bit, where really we talk about our fractional VP of sales and marketing solutions, which I touched on a little bit. We do some workshops, panels, and like keynotes around mindset and how do you operate from a place of abundance, especially in the sales world that really operates from a place of scarcity.
Oh, yeah.
And I know you believe this too. It starts with what you think, and then what you say, and then how you act, and then what you do, and then how you achieve, right? So,
and sometimes when you're in the wrong job or the wrong position, that gets so confusing.
Yes.
So you need that kind of training all the time. Outsource, like, how do I find that to get re-energized about the things that I could do to add value to the company that
That's right. That's right.
It's great stuff you're doing.
Yes, absolutely. And then you'll see on there, we also do provide some solutions in marketing and communications. So that's everything from website redesign to rebranding initiatives, digital lead generation efforts. So I'm blessed to have an amazing team and partners that I work with to deliver these exceptional services to our clients. And then the last thing that you'll see on there is really the sales training that we do. So after spending 20 years in corporate America in sales and business development, I've heard so many times that people would like a sales training that focuses less on the tactical things in sales and more on the human aspect, right? So I created a sales training curriculum that I call people-centered sales training, and it's really the flow to thriving in sales. And it starts with understanding abundance versus scarcity and how to operate from abundance. We talk a lot about building relationships, understanding trust and what role that plays in business development and sales. And again, the U.S. really has a culture of mistrust. So how do we identify that and then shift to operate from a place of creating trust?
Oh my gosh, we have so many biases first, right?
Yes, we do. So, but how do we check ourselves, right? So we're not bringing those into conversations with potential clients and clients. We talk a lot about Dr. Robert Cialdini's psychological factors or influence levers of persuasion. It's what sales and marketing has been based off of for close to 30 years, but no one really explains them to us and how they work, why these are psychological triggers so that we can then authentically, intentionally, and ethically use them. We talk a lot about identifying our why and being able to connect that to our organization and the work that we're doing, and storytelling, right? I don't know a lot of people that want to be pitched or sold.
Yes.
Because sales is really the service of finding your yes, right? It's like, it's where you provide value. So how do you attract and identify those and then, work through the buying process, especially in the B2B to demonstrate that value that you're going to provide to that organization. And we talk a lot about, after we talk about those foundational elements, we talk about some of the more tactical things like omni-channel outreach strategies and why it's important to have a digital presence when you're in sales and marketing and, what's our mindset around money and how can we be cognizant of that so we're not bringing that into our conversations with our clients. And we talk about closing frameworks and best practices for continuing the relationship because, as I like to say, the sale is just the beginning of the relationship, not the end, right? So it's fun. And those are, so I always say it's emotional intelligence plus strategy that really accelerates, sales and growth. And those are the same principles that, we apply when we're working with our corporate clients too.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. I hope you got that all in your journal. Go back and watch this. There are so many things that you're doing, but figuring it out what it looks like and having the vision to say, who are the team members that I need to help put together? Because you can't do all this alone.
No, I don't.
Yeah. So how do you evaluate what's the real need in the market? Do you survey people?
All the things.
Yeah.
Yes. So, I've done all kinds of different surveys, both, on LinkedIn, using, Google surveys and sending these out to understand what do business owners and sales professionals really need and want. I, of course, read all kinds of different business literature, from Harvard Business Review, LinkedIn, Forbes. I love the McKinsey reports to understand, where the gaps are. And if I happen to have, a solution or can put together a solution with a team of wonderful people, to execute on that. But I think that's one of the biggest things in entrepreneurship, particularly, is you can have a great idea, but does the market want it? And the only way that you can go figure that out is to go ask them. Making assumptions, it doesn't
really work.
Not when you want to bet your life on, your lifestyle on it, right? Your income and things like that.
That's why I love Shark Tank because you sit there and watch it and go, yeah, but you invested all this money and nobody really cares about it.
I know. I know. And to me, it seems, the way I'm wired, just seems to make sense. Okay, I think this is a good idea, but let me ask some other folks, and I find too that collaborative aspect, the idea ends up being better, right? When you get input from like a diverse group of people. So even if I had a great idea and it being excellent, right? By the time I get feedback from other people.
Vulnerability. It's a great way to be a leader.
That's
great
right.
way to be a leader.
Yeah.
All right. So we're at the point, you're in the hot seat.
Okay.
That I have this little game that we bought on vacation because it was called Food for Thought. It's about philosophical questions or ideas. So are you game?
I'm game.
Okay. So I'm going to draw this card right here.
Okay.
And I'm just going to ask you this, think about it, and then give us your answer.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
So this card says, ooh, where's your favorite place to hide from the world? Ooh, where do you like to hide?
Okay, this is a good one because I am an extrovert and I still need some time to recharge on my own.
You do?
Yes, just at least like a little bit. At least a little bit. So my first choice is a beach somewhere. I love the ocean. I love the water. I actually am getting an opportunity to go to a new place, St. Martin, next week on a trip. So that's going to be a good recharge for me there. And I think it's important to have a getaway, a hideaway a little bit more accessible than that. So I actually love flower gardening. So in my backyard, I have some very big flower gardens. I'm blessed to have like a wooded property and a lot of land where I live. And that's where I go. I go tinker in there. I watch the butterflies and the bees. I got some bee houses out there that have been up there for 3 years. And this spring, there's actually bees like that are living in it as their houses. So that's very excited. And I, tinker with my flowers and rearrange things and cut flowers to make bouquets for gifts and to put them in my house. But that is truly my happy place.
That is so cool. I need to connect you to my friend Kelly that has the Flower Tribe. She's on Instagram and she lives out in New Jersey, but she's awesome.
Okay,
yeah,
I'd love it.
Definitely,
yes.
you guys need to connect. Yes. That's really cool. I want to come see your flower tribe.
Yes, come on over. When you're at in the north side, let me know.
Oh, good. Well, listen, thank you.
Thank
for all that you do. I'm super excited about everything that you're getting ready to launch, this sales program and helping people become better, more confident leaders, especially, just to make business thrive.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about, isn't
That's
it?
right.
Yeah.
I think so.
Helping our community.
Helping them make their impact, and the way they do that is connecting and selling. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So go to Rebecca Bormann on all social media, but rbormannconsulting.com.
That's right.
All right.
Thank you.
So that's her address. So we'll put it up there, but want to make sure that you connect to her because you want to follow her. She's involved in so many things that she can give you access to, especially that 6 degrees of separation. I think it's now maybe like 3 because of all the social media.
Yes, the social media and the internet.
There's somebody that we know that somebody else needs to know.
That's right.
So, right.
Yes.
So.
Thank you so much for having me. This was a wonderful. I'm so glad we finally got to meet in person, and I look forward to lots more of the in-person get-togethers.
Oh, collaboration, girl. That's the key. That's the key.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming, and thank you guys for watching and following. This has been a really great episode of Everyday Business Leaders. So you know what it is. It's about connecting community and leaders from all over. So I hope you were inspired to think and grow differently today about your business and how to be involved in our community. Remember, the journey of growth and innovation, it never ends. It's our mission to keep bringing you the best insights right here from Indiana. Stay tuned for more episodes filled with wisdom, innovation, and inspiration. This is Melanie Ake signing off from JP the Geek Studio, where better IT service is just a call away. They say own it, secure it, and protect it. Until next time, don't forget, subscribe to our channel and turn those notifications on so you never miss an episode. Everyday Leaders helps you to develop strategies to be a better leader in your life. Because remember, it's not what you do in a day. It's what you do every day that makes the most impact. Have a great day, and thanks for following us.